All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Speedway Review. Chris Burns, along with Corey Huffnagel, Jordan Dalasico. And joining us tonight is ARCA driver Josh White. Josh, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Doing all right, man. Neck's been a little sore for a few days after the wreck, but it's getting better and better every day. And, I've been ready to get back in a race car since Friday evening. So,
now, for those who didn't see the race, describe what happened in just the most basic terms.
Most basic terms. Well, my throttle stuck wide open going into turn 3, and it wouldn't turn, and I hit the wall.
Oof. Can't even think about it. Nope. Not after some of the carnage we saw this weekend on the upper 3 series. But man, I'm just glad you're okay, and pleased to have you here. Jordan's going to take over. He's going to give you the long and short of the career of Josh White.
Hey.
Okay.
Can y'all hear me?
Gotcha.
We can hear you.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. So Josh White is a former Marine who served in the United States Marine Reserves from 2010 to 2015. So thank you for your service.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Josh has actually appeared on my other show, World of Auto Racing podcast, what was then known as Motorsports Race Talk, and in Bristol, World of Auto Racing podcast and the Speedway Review will be on his 03 Club Racing Ford.
Okay.
And he does drive the 03. As he mentioned, he did, crash. But, he raced. So when Josh was on my show, he had an interesting story about why he wanted to race Pocono. Josh, if you don't mind, would you mind telling the boys why you want to race Pocono?
Actually, one of my friends, that was their home track, and she had died from a diabetic coma. I think that's what it was. And just seeing her after we left, the track or whatever, our house, whatever it was, and got home, and then we had the news. So that'd be why I want to go back to Pocono. I want to go back and win there.
I'm looking through some of your stats here. First of all, props to your grandfather for allowing you to drive the truck around the farm. That's pretty badass at 8 years old,
Yeah.
And your grandma was in the truck too. That's hilarious. Oh my Lord. It's obviously your stint in the military sort of cut your career into pieces. You obviously made a wise decision. Again, thank you for your service. I believe in supporting the troops. And I got to ask you, you start with this burgeoning race career, and then boom, I'm going off to the Marine Corps. It's not exactly a decision you'd hear a lot of race car drivers make. In your mind, just walk us through that, if you would.
So, when I graduated high school, 2 days after I graduated, I had a little girl. Her name's Isabella. She's 13 now. But literally, as I walked graduation, she went into labor and had her 2 days later. And so I was a new dad. In West Virginia, the economy really just sucks. I mean, there's no beating around the bush to it. I mean, it's crazy. So being new to the job market, being a new dad, I mean, the best I could have got was, minimum wage job. My first job was actually at Bob Evans. I was a host for like $7.25 an hour. And you can't support a family on that. So I decided, what better way to support my family than to, serve my country and give some time to Uncle Sam.
Absolutely. And like you mentioned, you can't raise a family even 12, 13 years ago on $7 an hour. So I understand the monetary decision, and I understand, that call that some of us have in our heart to go. And if you don't succeed, at least you tried. So good on you, my friend.
I appreciate that.
And being the father of a teenager, I wish you all the best in the world, my man. Doesn't get any easier.
No, I'm not looking forward to it. I miss when she was little, but it is what it is. I wouldn't love her any less. She's my daughter, and she'll always be.
Absolutely. So you're running full time for club racing this year, is that correct? Or are you a part timer?
Part time. I'm doing 2 more races. I'm doing Springfield and I'm doing Bristol.
Okay. And in the interim, where are you running in between?
Nowhere. iRacing.
iRacing works. Why not?
Yeah. No, man, we just haven't had the sponsorship funding to really go out and have a big season or anything like that. But we're really hoping that we get some good finishes this year to be able to use that momentum going into next year to do more races, hopefully a full season. That's what we're ultimately hoping for. What I'd really like to see for 2023 is some wins. I want to win. I want to win bad, and I'd like to get a championship. That'd be really cool.
And we had Tony Cosentino on recently, and I said to him, and I'll ask you as well. You just said the best words ever. I want to win a championship. If you get into something like this and you just want to be okay, you're in the wrong business. And you have the correct attitude, my friend. You want to get out there and kick some ass and take some names.
Definitely. I've wanted to do that for a long time. I feel that I haven't really been able to show what I'm made of. A lot of people, they look at racing, especially the higher levels, ARCA, NASCAR, like the trucks, Xfinity Cup, whatever. They think everybody's on an even playing field, but they're not. A team that has, a $2 million budget for the year is going to do a lot better than a team that has a $200,000 budget for the year. It's just simple economics, because the small team isn't going to be able to afford all the top tier equipment, the better motors. They're not going to be able to afford the tools that they need. Like there's race shops out there that has like $100,000 laser machines to make sure everything is spot on. A small team cannot afford that. It's just not realistic, and that's what makes it tough. It makes it really tough.
And part of that for me, being 162 years old myself, is I grew up when everything was, super glue and bubble gum. Stock cars were stock cars, whether you ran ARCA, whether you ran, all the different Winston West back when, and even the Busch North up here. Those were guys just putting everything they could into it. A little tinkering going on over here. Nobody has to know it's cheating, but now everything's so technical. And like you mentioned, your team might have, say, a $200,000 budget where another team has a $2 million budget. What bothers me about things like that is you could have a future champion in your stable, in your $200,000, operation that may or may not ever get that lift to go to a higher multi-funded team with sponsorship and signing, multiple people owning the team and throwing money in left and right. And we'll never know what this particular driver can do.
Exactly. I'm really grateful for the sponsors that I have now. Without them, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing. But I share that same concern with you, and I feel like that champion that you're talking about is me. It's really unfortunate that all these other drivers can. I mean, I'm not jealous of them. They have their own stuff going on, and I know they work really hard for it. But I think it's crazy how somebody can get a big sponsorship like that and run, every race in top 5, win, or be at every race and wreck every race, but I can't even get a shot at a top 10, a top 5, winning car. That's just how it is. And, unfortunately, that's the way the sport revolves. It revolves around money. And it's unfortunate. If you have the talent, you have to showcase it in your own way. Otherwise, you're not going to get noticed.
Okay. And have you reached out to anybody about doing some smaller, more local things in the interim while waiting for ARCA?
Yes and no. I've briefly, dabbed into it a little bit. Like I was thinking about running, some sprint cars, like last year, the year before, and I couldn't really make it happen. I mean, it's not that my heart's not in it. It's just I love the part of the sport so much of the big stage, like going and getting in a car that when you get in it and you go around the track, there's a potential of you reaching this speed, because those speeds that you reach in those cars are astronomical. I mean, going 180, 190, 200 miles an hour is really fast. And so I just really like the rush. I'm not saying that local racing would be any less of a rush. It's just I feel like my passion's more in stock car racing.
Certainly understood. And I can't help but think back to a local driver that used to run around here years ago, Bob Potter, who I always asked when I was a kid, how come you're not running NASCAR? How come you're not running NASCAR? And he would say, the spirit is willing, but the wallet is weak.
Yep.
And that's basically the long and the short of it. Last question for me, and I'll let the boys try to do my job for a little while. As a former military man, how cool was it to be in Charlotte this weekend, Memorial Day weekend, where everything was red, white, and blue as far as the eye could see?
It was amazing. And, if I could relive it again, I obviously would make sure that I wouldn't wreck. But it was just awesome. I mean, I don't really know how else to put it. I mean, there's the morning of the race, I was in the driver's meeting, and the president of the ARCA MENARDS series, we're talking the president of this series.
Yep.
Told the entire garage area during the driver's meeting all about me and how I was a Marine. And it was just, it felt honored to have that kind of respect. And I felt honored to be there on such a iconic weekend. Memorial Day weekend is an iconic holiday. And, we really use that holiday to remember our fallen warriors that died in battle. And so I felt honored to represent those people, the Marines and the armed forces and professional motorsports such as ARCA MENARDS series.
Well, you got my vote, my man. Thank you again. I'm going to lean back so these guys can take a shot at this. And once again, thanks for talking to me. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Which one of you guys is taking over?
All right, I guess I'll start since I'll. I don't know what Jordan's doing with his hands right now. I don't know if that's a Talladega Nights reference, but anyway, so Josh White. So I'm seeing here on your stats right here. So I'm gonna go down to ARCA MENARDS for a minute. So 2015, you made 17 out of 20 races. You led about 309 laps that year, and you ended up finishing 12th in the points that season. Could you describe that season in probably a small detail?
Did you say I led laps?
Yeah, it says right here, it says laps led. Well, actually laps completed, I want to say. I think it's 309 laps total. So yeah, okay. I read that wrong. I do apologize. And I'm on. Yeah, sorry. My head's a little bit throbbing right now. Anyways, could you describe that season for us?
Yeah, I was extremely low budget that season. I did a lot of starting parks that season. But, it was a lot of fun. I got my feet wet at a lot of tracks I've never been at. But I did a couple, full races that year. One at Springfield, and another at Kentucky. Springfield, we were. I think we were still on the lead lap. I don't remember, but anyway,
Right.
yeah, I was on the lead lap. Okay, so I was so low budget that year that I didn't have a pit crew, and on top of that, I never, for one single race that entire year, had a hotel. I slept in the back of my SUV.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so that year was a struggle. There was some races that I didn't even know how I was going to get back home, or didn't even know how I was going to make it to the races. Some races I'd go to the race and be like, well, how am I going to get there? Then I get there and I'm like, well, how am I going to get home?
Right.
It was like that, and so it was a really big struggle, but I loved it. And at Springfield, what I was going to say was, where we didn't have a pit crew, we wasn't able to pit under caution. You were supposed to pit under like lap 90.
Right.
And so I had to take a green flag pit stop. I lost like a lap. And then by the time the race finished, which wasn't but like 10 or 11 laps later or something like that, I gained a lap back and finished the race. I think that was probably my best finish so far, at least in ARCA.
Okay.
I was really good at Springfield. I'm glad I'm going back there this year. That's one of the reasons why I picked it. I'm really comfortable there, and I have a dirt racing background, so really looking forward to being there. One of the crazy things that I did when I was racing there last was, this is how you're good. If you're a dirt racer, you know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Coming out of the corners at Springfield, I was so close to the wall that I brushed the paint off my right rear quarter panel and didn't damage it.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. So if you got that kind of line that's doing that, you're doing good.
That's true. And did you have a favorite NASCAR driver growing up? And if so, who was your favorite driver?
Growing up, don't get mad at me, guys. It was Jeff Gordon.
Hey, I don't mind Jeff Gordon. I mean,
yeah.
It's funny because, when I first started watching racing, when I first started getting into NASCAR, I was watching guys that are already retired and already in the Hall of Fame, and some that are in like the broadcast booth, whatever. But what actually kind of amazes me is that you look at the sport now as a whole, you look at guys that are like, 26 and under. I mean, I look at guys right now that are like, 18 years old. They look like they got their fucking driver's license, whatever. Excuse my language. I put $2 in the drawer. So, but yes. And you know what? I'm going to put $3 in the drawer. How about that? But anyways, like I look at kids right now. They look like they just got their driver's license, but then yet again, they're driving for the big teams whatsoever. And that's the part that kind of, amazes me a bit. But then, of course, you still got the veteran guys that, that are still hanging on. And of course, they're questioning themselves, okay, how much longer am I going to keep on doing this and so forth. But and of course, I also watched the ARCA series too. And I got to admit, I do like watching the ARCA series, and I also like watching the East and West series as well. And I like all those guys that, that are making a name for themselves and that are trying to make it up to the big ladder. And some of them, that I've seen go into NASCAR, have come up from the ARCA series, and some, that have raced in like the East and West series. There's a few guys that I know of that I can't really name out of the top of my head, but I just look at, the sport today and yeah, I mean, I do like how, we have this young movement, and of course we do have some of the veteran movement as well, but we're not going to have it as long, but yeah, that's basically what I want to say about the sport. And other than that, it's pretty good. So
I love this sport so much.
Yeah.
I'll probably do it until I die.
Right.
That is a great answer.
You want it? Okay, so Josh, you want to know who my favorite driver was when I first started watching NASCAR?
No.
Who's that?
Okay, don't get mad at me on this one, but my favorite when I first started watching was Tony Stewart.
There you go.
Yeah,
I've met Tony.
yeah. I remember when he used to drive that orange Home Depot car when it was like all orange and everything. Oh my goodness, I loved that car. That car was awesome. You know.
There you go.
And speaking of which, Tori.
What's up?
Well,
Is that young man Josh over there? I see.
Yeah. Say hello.
Is that Josh?
Yeah.
What's up, baby? How you doing today?
I'm doing all right. How about you?
Well, I'm just glad to be here. Got a cold one right behind me, making people
There you
fat, getting them something to drink, There it is. Hey, man, you raced a pretty good race this weekend, brother.
Yeah, tail wrecked.
Yeah.
But it happens, man. At least you walked away from it, though. That's all that matters.
That's true.
Hell yeah.
Oh, Jordan, you got anything you want to add?
Just that Josh is still looking for fan sponsorships for Springfield and Bristol coming up. So if you guys want your name on a car, reach out to Josh White's Facebook page with the blue dot. Remember, guys, look for the blue dot. You don't have a blue dot, you don't got the right one.
Right.
Yes, my Facebook page is there.
I will actually be having both the World of Auto Racing podcast and a Speedway review on his car for you guys in Bristol.
I can't wait to see that. That's going to be pretty badass.
Yeah, that will be pretty cool.
Definitely. Excited to have you there, Jordan. I'd be glad to have you. And the fan sponsorship program, a lot of people like it. We've got Charlotte in the books, and a lot of people really like seeing their name on the deck lid of the car. So going forward, we look for the same turnout for Springfield and Bristol. We'll see how it goes. We can really use more fan sponsors. The more we have, the better. Right now, we got to pay for a damaged race car, and we've got to put more into our races. So anything helps, man. $20 a name, that might not sound like a lot, but it really helps. I mean, in the end, it adds up. It adds up a lot.
Right.
I'm gonna get the info from Jordan, because I'll throw $60 from Dysfunction Junction, my other podcast, and we're gonna put our name on your car in Bristol.
I'd appreciate that, man. I appreciate that a lot.
Not a problem. Not a problem at all. So, gentlemen, anything else you'd like to add?
Passes are included in one of the other ones too. I got that one.
Anybody? Bueller?
Well, I got nothing to add if anybody else wants to go. So.
Hey,
I know we're kind of crunched for time tonight, but Tori's got something.
I think I'll jump in on that 62, but Jordan, I have to get my homeboy to cash app it to you, because I don't get down like that. But I like to put my place of business on your car too.
Awesome. I really appreciate that, guys.
Oh, it's all good, brother.
You're out there doing it week after week. People get to either watch you live in the stands or watch you on television from home. We appreciate everything you do, so why not throw a little something at you and, make it a memorable experience for everybody.
Oh, definitely. And after the race, I make it to where we're making it to where you can actually, for an additional donation, you can get the sticker from the race car.
Oh, right. Now, do I have to send you a photo of our logo?
It'll either be handwritten or it'll be on a 1/2-inch decal that we print out.
Okay, definitely. I'll talk to the guys on Monday when we record again at Dysfunction Junction, and you'll be hearing from me.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, I want a piece of that too, Josh. I would love to have that. We can stick it on the wall here in GT. Like, you're like, yo, our logo was at Bristol.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
And what I can
Jordan, I'm
do,
gonna get your
guys, I'll be
cash
done, or I can
information.
actually take a picture of the logo and send it to all of you at the Speedway review.
Sweet.
Awesome.
Cool.
All right. Knowing that we're pressed for time because we don't want to get Jordan's ass kicked. Josh, thank you so much for joining us. Door is open. Whenever you want to come back and just shoot the breeze about any particular weekend worth of racing, you are always welcome, my friend.
I really appreciate that. Y'all can find me on Facebook and TikTok at Josh White Racing. You go to my website at joshwhiteracing.com. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Fighting Marine. Just a real quick special thanks to all my sponsors: Kanama Ammunition, Racer Apparel, Fish Fin, Bub and Mothers, and all my fan sponsors, man. And you guys are getting ready to be on that fan sponsor list. So, yeah, thanks for having me on.
And you see how he did that? I did not even have to ask him, where can we find you on the internet? Josh comes in, both guns blazing, Semper Fi, hoorah.
That's that devil dog right there, baby. That's that devil dog. Get straight to business. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hey, Josh, it's crazy. You wouldn't believe how many retired Marines come to this bar, bro.
I do.
It's like seriously, there's a lot of retired devil dogs that come and patronize our bar.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
you're ever in Alabama, look Tori up. He's going to make you some of the best food you've ever had.
Oh yeah.
Well, you know, I might take it up. I might take him up on that when I go to. Hopefully, I go to Talladega next year.
There you
Hell
go.
yeah. I got you, dude. I got you.
All right. Josh, thanks again. Much appreciated.
No problem. Y'all have a good one.
You
All
as
right.
well, my friend.
Thank you, Josh.
See ya.
Oh, see, now it begins. Jordan's screen is swirling because he's catching his nightly whooping.
Yep.
I'm going to go to the schedule. I know I'm Tori. I've popped Tori again. Here we go. So we'll start with, obviously, we're going to start with the truck series. We're going to make it quick. We're going to try to get this in before 10 o'clock. I didn't see much of the race, but I saw enough of the race. And Ross Chastain comes home with
Hey,
the
Chris,
victory.
real quick.
Yeah.
Chris, real quick. Just for you and Corey. Hey, if you didn't catch that message, hey, y'all send me his information.
Can
so I
y'all hear
get
me?
on that deal.
Got
You know
you.
what I'm saying? Yeah, we hear you, baby. But go ahead. I just had to shoot that out to you real quick.
No, absolutely. Because I'm going to talk to the guys on Monday night, and I'll get $20 from each of them, including myself, and I'll send them $60 to put our name on the car in Bristol. Why not? That's
I'm just gonna send the money myself. I'm gonna tell my employer about that shit later.
You should send two, 20 for the restaurant and 20 for one that says the medium show.
Okay, then.
There you go.
You crazy. Look at you, Chris.
Always thinking, my man. Always thinking. So I didn't think it was a spectacular truck race from what I saw. So you guys are going to have to tell me, was this everything I heard about?
Well, I will say, the truck race on Friday night was pretty fun to watch, and I was hoping that Carson Hocevar was going to get his first career win. Late caution comes out. It was between him and Ryan Preece that were racing for the win, and then they were coming down the backstretch, and it looked as if Preece kind of got, I would say, Hocevar kind of got loose and then, gets into the 17, and then both of those guys crash, and then they get taken out of contention. And the last restart, everyone was all battling for the lead and battling for first place or whatever. And other than that, it was, I will say it was a good race, even though Ross Chastain won, even though he's a Cup driver. But again, like I said, I may not have to like it, but I have to accept it. But the one thing I really like about Ross is how he smashes that watermelon every time he wins. It's funny, but it's just awesome though.
Going back to the Hocevar versus Preece.
Yeah.
My bad, y'all.
Oh my Lord, I'm gonna die. Oh, and Corey missed his opportunity. I'm gonna die.
Oh, please don't die.
Please don't die. There it is. Thank you very much.
Moving on.
The Hocevar Preece thing. You're right. They're not beating on each other. Hocevar gets a little loose, and this is where a lot of my discord this weekend started.
Yeah.
Was after seeing the replay, and people just want to make these broad, generalized assumptions on what happened, and Priest should have went over and talked to Hocevar before getting in front of a camera. Well, what were the circumstances? Did the camera find him first? Were you there? Do you know? The answer is no. No, you don't know. So, I get it. We've seen it a million times. How many times they stuck a camera in Kyle Busch's face and he's pissed off as hell, and then 4 hours later they put a camera in his face. He's still pissed off as hell.
Yeah.
Stop, smash it, but stop eating the watermelon.
That's rough for you.
I think she's speaking of eating it right off the asphalt.
Yeah, I could say that.
Which I do find a little disgusting myself, but it is funny. It's funny as hell. Seriously, I don't know the circumstances. Priest had a right to be mad. Hocevar had a right to be mad. They both kind of, in the heat of the moment, one's over here and one's over here. And, they got cameras and microphones stuck straight in their eye. What you're getting is the first reaction. And sometimes it's good. Sometimes it isn't. We live and we learn. That's about it. So I'll go through the running order. I'll ask for the happies and sads, and then we'll move on to the Xfinity race. Ross Chastain came home in first. Grant Enfinger second. John Hunter Nemechek was third. Our boy Chris Schneckis was fourth. Zane Smith fifth. That was hard to say. Zane Smith fifth. Tanner Gray sixth. Kyle Busch, who should not be in the Truck Series at all, was seventh. Chandler Smith eighth. Stuart Friesen ninth, and Ben Rhodes rounds out your top 10. Your other notables, Ryan Preece was 11th. Derek Kraus was 12th. Carson Hocevar, previously mentioned, finished 16th. Matty D, 17th. Matt Crafton, 18th. Rumors swirling about Matt Crafton. I got to ask you guys about this in a minute. Won't even mention the 22nd place finisher because he's got the dumbest name in motorsports.
Yep.
Haley Deegan, 27th. Josh Rayon, 31st. Matt Mills, 34th. And all the way down in the BJ McLeod position, Brennan Poole. So rumors are swirling that if Matt Crafton doesn't make the playoffs, he's out of a ride.
Oh, is that right?
I never heard that.
Rumors. Again, I'm not saying this like I know something. This is something I've heard, and I'm asking what you guys think of this.
Who said that? NASCAR racing community? Those idiots?
No, not the morons over at the NASCAR racing community. I saw this on a different. It was on an Instagram thing.
Oh, okay. All right.
I never saw that.
Again, it's a rumor. I'm asking what you think of the rumor. Do you put any credence behind it? Are you thinking, this could actually happen? I know there's talk right now with as many races as we have left that he's not going to make the playoffs unless he wins. He's not really sitting pretty in points.
Right.
But the rumor that
Honestly,
I heard was if he doesn't make the playoffs, he's out of a job.
I mean,
Anybody?
Honestly, I don't see that happening because he's been the heart and soul of Thor Sports for a year. So I don't think they're going to let one of the top guys go.
I would agree with that. Corey?
I think I'm going down the same route as well. I would be kind of shocked if Thorosport lets him go if he doesn't make the playoffs, but I don't think they would not do that either. So
I'm going to go back. I'm going to find where I saw this. I'll send you a link. You guys tell me what you think.
All right.
So we may as well go happy and sad. I will begin with the happy. I'm going to go with Grant Enfinger. We haven't talked about him much this season. Comes home in second. Yes, it happens after the Hocevar Priest gimmick, but still a good finish for Grant Enfinger, who we haven't talked about much this year. Sad. I look at this list and I can only say it. Another week, and another sad for Haley Deegan.
All right.
Jordan, what do you got? Jordan.
My happy. I'm
Yeah.
here. Sorry, it froze for a minute. So my happy would have to be Grant Enfinger finishing second, and my sad this week. I'm going to switch it up. I'm not going to say, "Hey, Deegan." My heart breaks for Carson Hocevar. My boy, man.
Fair enough.
That first win is coming.
Fair enough. All right, Corey Huffnagel.
My happy and sad are the same as Jordan's. So
Okay.
Yep.
And Tori, you got anything for us for the truck race?
No, I actually didn't see the truck race. Sorry about that.
All right, understood. Here we go. So your Xfinity race, wow. Josh Berry comes home with the win. Ran great all day. Late stages of the race, he just blew the competition out of the water, man. He was that freaking good. And I know Jordan must have been jumping up and down on furniture because that's his boy. And there were a lot of guys in this race who I thought had a really good shot at winning, but when it came down to it, Josh Berry found a way. Once he got out front, man, he was hard to catch, and he looked good doing it. So, to me, that's the highlight was, this guy, Josh Berry, who people still look at as, oh, he's that guy that's friends with Dale Jr. and he did this and he did that and whatever. But Josh is showing that he deserves to be where he's at.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree on that too. And if you look at last year when he ran a part-time schedule, when he won Martinsville last year, and everyone thought, of course, Josh Berry's pretty good on short tracks. He won a 300-lap race at Hickory or wherever he won at and so forth. So people thought, okay, that was easy for him to do because, he's a short track racer, no doubt it. And then once he won Las Vegas last year, which, of course, he wins on a 1.5 miles, that's when everyone thought, okay, if he can win on a short track, he can win like anywhere. Now you go to this year, of course, he ends up winning 2 races. He wins at Dover, of course, Monster Mile. And then he wins at Charlotte. And I got to say, that race on Saturday, I did not expect Josh Berry to win by about 18 seconds or so forth. But other than that, I thought the race was fun to watch. And it was really good, seeing him and Justin Allgaier battling for the lead. And then at some point, they were beating the hell out of each other. And then, of course, Allgaier gets the cut tire and so forth. But I will say this was another race where, it was dominated by Junior Motorsports. And I mean, I will say this, how many races, has Junior Motorsports ended up winning this year? And it's just basically just flat out dominated the competition so far.
I'd have to go back and look, but maybe I'll have that answer for you next week. Yeah, I think it was the pit strategy for that 8 team that really put them far and away ahead of everybody else. And, good on Junior Motorsports and good on Josh Berry. I did feel bad, like you said, for Allgaier. They were slamming doors like nobody's business in their teammates. Yeah. And even one of the announcers said at one point, somewhere Dale Jr. is sitting down in front of a television, kicking and screaming and cussing, going, stop bumping my race cars together.
Yeah.
So, good on Josh. Jordan, any thoughts on the race?
Well, first off, I want to say Junior Motorsports is kicking ass this season.
Yeah.
Josh Berry does it again. I love it, but you got to feel it for some of these drivers that's been trying the hardest to win or race, and they just end up crashing. Like, for example, Jesse Uigi, like his team is just struggling, and I mean they're struggling bad this season. Yeah. But other than that, I thought the race was overall. I thought the race was a good. I watched the highlights. I thought it was pretty good.
All right, and Tori.
Well, you already know, man.
I knew the answer. I didn't need to ask.
Yeah, but still, Junior Motorsports is kicking ass, man. I'm always gonna pull for my boy Ty, but you gotta give respect and props to who's doing their thing this season. And I gotta kind of sort of agree with Corey, man. It doesn't, as of right now, it doesn't look like anyone's gonna stop him, bro. No lie.
No, he's absolutely right. Between Berry, Allgaier, Gregson, all 3 are doing incredibly well this year. And to look at the 3 of them, you might be seeing 3 out of the 4 championship drivers right there if
I can see
Junior
that.
Motorsports keeps moving in that direction. All right, Caleb, we understand you got hacked. I understand it. I love you, but knock it off.
Yeah.
I don't want to ban anybody from the show today.
I just love when you say that word.
Okay, Corey, then you're banned from the show.
Thank you. See you guys next week. No,
and for what it's worth, because you pissed me off, you're canceled.
Oh, come on, man. Just say that I'm banned. Say that I'm banned for a week.
All right, so here we go. Josh Berry comes home in first, Ty Gibbs second, Sam Mayer third, Noah Gregson fourth, and Ryan Priest comes home in fifth. Daniel Hemrick was sixth, Justin Allgaier seventh, Sheldon Creed eighth, Trevor Bain ninth, Myatt Snyder rounds out your top 10. Other notables was Jeb Burton with a hard B, Jeb, was 12th. Brandon Jones, who was looking good early on in the race, had some trouble, ends up in 16th. Brandon Brown was 17th. AJ Allmendinger, 19th. Going down the list, Riley Herbst, 25th. Our boy Josh Williams, 27th. Landon Castle, 29th. Austin Dillon, 31st. Anthony Alfredo, 33rd. Brennan Poole, 35th. Jeffrey Earnhardt, 37th. And all the way down in the BJ McLeod position was Timmy Hill. Corey, start with the happies and sads.
All right, so my happy on this one, I'm going to go with Daniel Hemrick. Of course, he was one of the 6 cars that finished on the lead lap on Saturday. But other than that, solid top 10 finish for that 11 car. And my sad for the week, I'm going to have to go with Landon Castle. I mean, one of the Call-It cars, which I thought was going to have a good run, ends up finishing in the top 20 or the top 30, whatever you call it. But yeah, disappointing run for that 10 team.
All right, Jordan.
All right, my happy was, of course, Josh Berry. And my sad, I'm going to have to agree with Corey.
All right.
All right.
Tori, you got anything, my man?
You already know. Happy that Ty finished in second, but would have loved to win. No sad. I don't have no sad this week.
All right. Strangely enough, I am picking the winner. Josh Berry is my happy, really making a statement going forward as someone you have to look at as a championship contender. My sad is going to be my man Anthony Alfredo. Accident takes him out of the race. And dude can't catch a break. Eventually, hopefully, he will catch a break. On to the longest and craziest race at Charlotte I've seen in a long time. And when it came down to it, restart Jones, Denny Hamlin holds off teammate Kyle Busch for the win. That is all fine and wonderful. I have a quick 30-second story to tell. So we're watching the race, and my 4-year-old great niece is watching. And we had the kids here. My kid was here. The little nieces, Terry's grandkids, I should say. My sister's grandkids. You know, my great nieces and nephews and whatnot. And the Busher crash happens. Now, my niece likes Tyler Reddick. My nephew is now firmly entrenched in the Daniel Suarez camp. And little Amara doesn't have a favorite. So she's watching this, and the car flips, and they're playing the replays, and she's like, oh, no, he's crashing again? We have to, she has to be explained. No, honey, that's a replay. They're just showing it over and over again. And Terry can type in the rest of the story and tell what she said to her grandfather the next day. But having said that, good on the NASCAR safety teams, good on the safety of NASCAR overall, that Chris Buescher lands on the hood, the top of his car. It's crushed down, and dude got to walk away and talk to us from the infield care center. Wow. But I got to tell you, now Amara, little 4-year-old Amara, has a favorite race car driver, and of course it is Chris Buescher.
Good for them. Good for her.
Right? That's what I said. But
yeah.
Overall, I liked the feel of the race. Lots of lead changes, lots of moving and shaking. Some of those crossover moves were excellent. I really didn't see anybody get stupid out there, so that was a plus.
I mean, all in all, I thought the race was pretty good. I mean, the field pretty much shuffled up like most of the race. And then, of course, every 100 miles, you'd see somebody, go up to the front where you thought, okay, this guy's got a good shot. And then, it would switch again, and then so forth. And I would pretty much say, a lot of guys took some different pitch strategies with this. And the Chris Buescher flip, I don't think anyone expected that to happen. But, of course, that's the very first time, we saw a next-gen car flip over. And the fact that Chris Buescher got out was pretty much a miraculous miracle to see. And I will say the first overtime where everybody was battling 4 wide for the lead, and then everyone crashed coming to the white flag, or coming to the caution, I should say. That's when I thought, wow. I mean, after oh, screw you.
What was that?
Corey's getting long-winded. I had to give him the buzzer.
All right.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what I went. I think I went too long, did I?
A little bit.
Okay. But anyways, I thought the race was good. So.
All right. Round the horn. Jordan, last thoughts on the race? Well, we know what Mercy thought.
What's he saying?
Mercy wasn't happy because Mercy was rooting for Kevin Harvick to come home with the victory.
Yeah, of course.
So, all right, when he comes back, Terry's comment is hilarious. It's sitting right here.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go through the running order before Jordan comes back. We'll get to the fantasy because we had some movers and we had some that just shook their way back down the list. All right, he's back. Kind of.
Maybe.
All right, welcome back, Jordan. What are we looking at? Knock it off.
Yeah, what is that anyway?
Cutie McWonder.
Anyway, what Corey, did you have too much go to banana? Is that why you got winded?
Oh my Lord.
We're going to talk about this now, are we?
By the way, I finally did listen to that episode of Dysfunction Junction. Hilarious.
Glad you liked it.
Thank you.
Real quick, put the Terry comment up so she can tell the rest of the story here, and I'll read it out loud. The next morning, my husband was talking about the flip, and he was at work, so he didn't see the wreck. Amara, she, pronouns pal, told my husband with names that he flipped, and he was upside down, and they pulled the car over, and then he got out of the car not hurt. It was so cute for her to tell the story. It actually, I wish I could have listened to her tell that story. It would have been great. Tori's making the chicken nuggets, so I'll ask him after what he thought of the race. Let's go through the running order. Here he comes, my man.
Hey, Tori.
First of all, I don't even sell chicken nuggets, bro. I don't make those things. You do realize that chicken nuggets are nothing but chicken titties, right?
Lips and assholes, yeah.
Yes, sir. Stupid. Didn't see the race, but I think I'm trying to remember at least one of my guys, Kyle, finishing the top 10. So I got something to smile about. But damn, Chase, did he wreck?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
I knew it. So that's probably my sad, man. Those were my two main guys in my whole team. But it's all good.
All right, well, now that we have his happy and sad, I'm going to go through the running order. We'll get to happy and sad for everybody else, and we'll get to the fantasy points. Denny Hamlin comes home with the win. Kyle Busch was second. Kevin Harvick third. Chase Briscoe was fourth, and Christopher Bell was fifth. Tyler Reddick sixth. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. seventh. Michael McDowell eighth. Kyle Larson ninth. Alex Bowman rounded out your top 10. Other notables, Martin Truex Jr. was in 12th. Eric Jones 14th. Ross Chastain 15th. Eric Almirola, 17th. Guys, write this one down. June 1st, the only time you're going to hear me talk about a top 20. BJ McLeod finished 19th. Joey Logano was 20th. Daniel Suarez, 25th. Chris Buescher, we already mentioned after the wreck, was 26th. Bubba Wallace, 28th. Brad Keselowski, 30th. William Byron, 32nd. Chase Elliott, 33rd. Austin Cindric, 34th. And all the way down in the usual BJ McLeod position was Ryan Preece. I'm going to make this short and sweet. My happy, Kevin Harvick, fantastic run. Didn't think he had enough to get to the front, but he had enough to finish third. Good on him. Dual sad, I got Daniel Suarez and Chris Buescher. Suarez gets loose, causes the wreck. Buescher flips. They were both running really well inside the top 15. Bad day for both of them.
Yeah.
And Jordan, what do you got?
Well, you already know what my sad is.
Austin Cindric screwing up the world and finishing 34th.
And my happy is that Chase Elliott did not get to finish the race.
That's the best answer ever. Corey, go ahead.
All right, so my happy, I'm going to go with Kevin Harvick, and then my sad, I'm going to have to go with Kurt Busch.
Okay, fair enough. Tori, what do you got?
Oh, actually, I gave you mine already.
Oh,
Remember?
that's right. I forgot. He jumped the gun. It's all good.
It was
All right.
weighing heavily on my mind, Chris.
I got you. I know it's weighing on your mind. Here's the good news for Tori. The standings have not changed. Tori still leads. I'm in second. Corey's in third. Jordan's in fourth. We had one big mover, and the other two guys only dropped a couple of points. So, worst to first or first to worst? Okay, Tori's saying first to worst because he wants to hear his first.
Yeah.
All right, Tori. Kyle Larson gave you 36 points. Chase Elliott gave you 14. Eric Almirola gave you 20. And Cole Custer also gave you 20 for a total of 90 points. Your running total as of right now, still in the lead, 1,493. Kevin Harvick gave me 38 points. Joey Logano, 27. Tyler Reddick gave me 50. And Daniel Suarez gave me 28 for a total this week of 143, putting my running total at 1,425, 68 points behind Tori, and I picked up 53 points on the lead. Good job by me. And now the rest of the story. Corey, Justin Haley gave you 10 points, William Byron 5, Austin Dillon 17, but Chase Briscoe gave you 49 points for a total of 81 on the week. Your running total, 1,310. You are 183 back of the lead. You only lost 9 points to the leader.
All right.
Gordon, Corey LaJoy gave you a whopping 2 points. Brad Keselowski, 7, but Ross Chastain gave you 48, and Eric Jones gave you 31. That's a weekly total of 88. Your running total, 1,292. You are 201 points behind the leader, but you only lost 2 points to the leader, showing that miracles can happen. I was the high point for the week. Corey was the low points for the week. And now we move on to next week. Real quick, and I mean real quick. Corey, tell us where we're going next week.
All right, so next weekend we're going to Gateway, or as I like to call it, St. Louis. Saturday you got the Camping World Truck Series race, 1:30 Eastern Time on FS1. And later on in the day, you will see the Xfinity race on the road course in Portland. No, not Portland, Maine, but Portland, Oregon on the West Coast. And then, of course, Sunday, you got the Cup Series race, the inaugural race, the Enjoy Illinois 300 at St. Louis. That'll be 3:30 Eastern Time on FS1. So that's where we're going to next week. And I cannot wait for St. Louis. I can't wait for the Cup race on Sunday. It should be a lot of fun.
Gonna be good stuff, guys. So, gentlemen, with the 5 minutes that we have left, I just want to take a moment to say, guys, this past weekend was Memorial Day. It's the time we take to remember those who were lost in service of our country. You notice I often wear my Support Our Troops hat, and we enjoy the things we enjoy in this life because of them. And I tip my hat to all those that we lost over the years. And Tori, you got your finger up. I want to hear from you next.
Oh, I wasn't saying that. I was just pointing like I agree with you, everything you said, because it's simple. It's very simple, man. Those guys literally follow orders blindly, and they do make the ultimate sacrifice. So that's why, like, in my city, no matter where I be at, if I see a National Guardsman, Army, Air Force, Marines, Navy, it don't matter. I always shake their hands. I always tell them, thank you for your service, man. It don't matter. New dude, old dude, especially the old cats, man, because their warfare was just nothing like what we're doing today, and they really were the fuck. No, they really were the ones, bro. Simple as that.
Absolutely. Well put, my man. Well put. Jordan?
Jordan.
What's up, y'all?
You gonna chime in on Memorial Day or what?
I just want to agree with what you said, Chris. Just shout out to all the veterans out there, former military, current men in service, women serving our country. I don't have one on, but I'll tip my hair to you guys.
Fair enough. Thank you for tipping your hair, I guess. I love it. Corey, you're the final word tonight.
Well, I disagree. I agree on what you said, and definitely, we do got to take time, to to thank all the men and women who have served in the military, and and we look back on all those people that gave up the sacrifice to fight for our country, and honestly, NASCAR on Memorial Day weekend at Charlotte, it couldn't be any better. You just see all the reenactment stuff in between, and of course you just see all the servicemen and women at the track. It just makes it pretty special. So, but other than that, I tip my hat to all the men and women who served in the military or are current or past people who are serving in the military. But I just thank you guys, and thank you guys for what you do, and also thank you for serving for our country.
And with that, we're out of time. So, gentlemen, until next week. Which Japanese wrestler died now?
Anyway, I just want to say, Corey, our boy Sergio Perez, Monaco champions.
Yes.
And congratulations to Marcus Ericsson winning Indy 500. Speaking of Marcus Ericsson, I've reached out to the gang at Chip Ganassi Racing, and it looks like that coming up possibly next Tuesday, Marcus Ericsson will be live on World of Auto Racing podcast.
Ooh, okay.
Very cool. How did Bob Backlund do?
Well, he won the championship for the 75,000th time.
Nice.
But I will say this, I'm happy that both of my Red Bull guys have a win on their belt, and I kind of said this last week. I said, as much as Max won 4 races this year, just let the other guy win, please. Come on.
Don't give me that let him win. Don't give me that let him win crap.
Nope. So,
gentlemen, I'm going to be sending you a picture from about 5 or 6 years ago in just a few minutes after we conclude. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again. If you're watching live, awesome. If you watch after the fact, thank you. No matter how you watch or listen to us, thank you. We appreciate you, and God bless America.
Yeah.
Yep.
America.
I'm about to get her. But hey, Corey, before we get off, hey, I know you got the Celtics. I know you got the Celtics winning, right? Or who's
Celtics
I have
in
winning the
6.
finals?
Celtics in 7.
That's who I got. I say Aisha Curry in 4.
Yeah, but I think it should be a good series, though. I can't wait, and definitely it's gonna be a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to this one.
Celtics in 6.
I agree on that.
So do I.
I just hope they bring it home. That's all I want.
So do I.
All right. Good night, guys.
All right.